Welcome back to the news at 10. The Federal Executive Council today made fresh moves to strengthen the implementation of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan of the Buhari administration by retaining some of the consultants working on the review and evaluation of the plan. In line with the plan, Council approved the sum of 485 million naira for the retainership of the consultants for the next 13 weeks. The Council is also focusing on agriculture, transportation, power and gas to consolidate on the gains of the ERGP. These decisions were made at the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo.
The duration of the lab is expected to last for a minimum of 13 weeks. It will cover 3 phases. Pre-lab activities for 4 weeks. Phase 2, conduction of the labs themselves, 6 weeks. Phase 3, post-lab activities, 3 weeks. And you will have for each labs at least 100 people from a cross-section of the public and private sectors. So that is the structure of the lab. So they will do the pilot one. Subsequent labs, we will not lead them.
The construction of the Gombe-Biu Road that connects Gombe State to Borno State and also links them to Adamawa, Yobe, and so on. The contract was for 27.233 billion for 117 kilometers. The entire road now excludes the 9 kilometers that have been constructed by the Gombe State government.
To education now, reactions are still trailing the planned sack of 22,000 teachers in Kaduna State by Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Now the Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose is saying that it would be better to train the teachers rather than subject them to an outright sack. The governor, who was speaking while giving out glasses to teachers in Ekiti State, also criticized those who are supporting the action of the Kaduna State Governor.
There's a lot that is wrong with leadership. Teachers are not employed themselves. They did not employ themselves as grade 2 teachers, nor NCE. Were they trained before they were sacked? Were they trained that they failed training? So before you sack people, before you ask people to go, there must be steps taken by you. Not until they have failed such tests, they don't deserve to be sacked. Not to say 22,000 teachers. This is a war against civil servants, against teachers. And if the government says we are going to provide 3 million or 1 million jobs every year, rather than provide these jobs, you are sacking them. You will never find a perfect teacher, even when they are trained. They continue to learn on the job.
Leading social-cultural groups in the southeast and the southwest regions, the Ohaneze Ndibo and Afenifere, are coming together to seek ethnic harmony and celebrate the reasons for Nigeria's unity. The groups are putting together what they call a handshake across the Niger, where they believe the lessons from the events of the past must be used to consolidate the nation's unity. The legacies of the late General Aguiyi Ironsi and Francis Adekunle Faji serve as key pointers.
The wrong narratives over the years have been the defining points of Igbo-Yoruba relationship, while played to the background these finest moments of common bond between the two groups. Now is a new day. As the best of Yoruba and Igbo gather in this to celebrate Ironsi and Fajuyi and construct the East-West bridge of understanding.
Mutual antagonism, as he says, negative rivalry and all that. But we find that we're all linked together in one common, thread of humanity. The things that bond us or join us together are actually far more and far deeper than the things that separate us. And because we have been very emotional, we have fixated our own understanding on the negatives. We have missed this point. Now we have to go to the positive. Now we have to discover the good things between us.
An indigenous construction firm, Setraco Group, has been commended for its commitment to excellence and the advancement of the Edo State and Nigeria at large. Now, this commendation was made by His Royal Highness, the Oba of Benin, at a courtesy visit to him. Its chairman, the chairman of that company, lauded the development initiatives of the Oba.
The chairman of Setraco Nigeria Limited, Abu Inu Imoru, leads other members of the management of the company to the palace of the Oba of Benin, Omonobane Kwak Bolokbolo, Oba Ewa II, in what could be regarded as a homecoming for the Setraco Group. After the opening formalities, the chairman of the company informs the monarch that the visit is to felicitate with him on his first anniversary of his ascension to the throne, in addition to appreciating his contribution to the development of the state.
Thank you for this opportunity, and I want to thank you for all the support you have given the company and the new dimension you have taken to the assistance for business to grow in Benin City. We have taken singular honor for all the modifications to attract investors to Benin City.
On his part, the Oba of Benin describes the Setraco Group as one of Nigeria's leading enterprise, assuring the company of his continuous support.
Being an indigenous construction company that has built the company over the years, that has demonstrated the capability of local content, I can say that. Pray to God Almighty for you to keep on doing the best for the company, and that the company grows from strength to strength. Be as big as the Lord God Almighty and our ancestors wants it to be.
The management of Setraco insists the visit to the Benin monarch will further deepen the relationship between the palace and the company, a development that he believes will engender more accomplishment in the years ahead.
Let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Melinda Akinlami.
You first. First Bank.
Many thanks, Ijoma. Welcome to Business News. Fitch Ratings has assigned an initial B+ rating to Nigeria's upcoming dollar-denominated Eurobond issue, and that's in line with the B+ rating and a negative outlook for the country's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating, as well as its long-term local currency. Fitch rating by the agency will be subject to the Eurobond investment document issued by Nigeria, which is expected to conform with already reviewed information. B+ is the lowest investment rating assigned to a security issuer, which shows relative stability. The President and Chief Executive of MasterCard, Mr. Ajay Banga, has commended the Nigerian government's effort to develop a more inclusive economy using technology. Mr. Banga's reaction is coming after a private meeting with the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. In an interview with Channels Television, he describes the plan as the way to go.
What we are really discussing is how do we improve the circumstances around financial inclusion in Nigeria, because if you improve that and you get more people into the financial system, that leads to more people using electronic payments. That has a direct connection to GDP growth. Now, what do I mean by that? The estimates are that around 40% of Nigerians do not have access to any form of financial services in a formal way. Now, if you take that number and you say that a 1% increase in electronic payments, and this is a Moody's study, can generate up to 0.4% increase in GDP. So that's really interesting as a number. So if you can generate a terrific amount of increase in GDP from electronic payments, then what you can do is to help by bringing people into a financial inclusion, reduce their dependence on cash, and improve the economy. To me, That's the real issue behind the numbers. That's the dignity that you give the SME, and that's the ability you give them to grow their business. If he grows, he will hire somebody to work there, and that creates a job.
At least 71 people are now paying their taxes in surplus of 10 million naira each to the coffers of the Ogun State government, and that's up from 2 persons 2 years ago, thanks to the development drive of the present administration. The state government has also devised a biometric database system to check tax evaders to ensure more transparency and accountability.
We had just 2 taxpayers in our tax net paying 10 million naira and above in tax. As I'm speaking to you now, we have 71 people that are over 10 million and above paying in tax. Before this interview started, I had a meeting with a major company that is in Agbara. You know, in their company alone, there are 10 people that are paying 10 million and above in tax. And those are the kind of development that the governor is working on. And if you go around the state, you will see a lot of development coming in. One of the major brewing company in the world is going to start operation in Ogun State.
The local stock market ends Wednesday's trading session further down by almost the same number recorded on Tuesday amid strong fundamentals by equities. BC Adebayo tells us more.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Reports. It's the second session of profit-taking at the equities market this week, driven by more sell-offs from the industrial and consumer goods sector, despite a 1.03% recovery from the banking sector. In response, the all-share index dropped by another 0.91%, and that's further below the 37,000 mark, while the equities cap fell by 116 billion naira to 12.673 trillion naira. The market's decline is tied to price load shed from 25 losers, particularly CNI Leasing and PZ Cussons, which lost nearly 9% of their share price. On the other hand, AG Levitas went up by 8.47% ahead of 14 other gainers. Total volume of transactions is at its lowest at 184.24 million units compared with the last 2 sessions, while FBN Holdings, Zenith and Fidelity Bank are the top 3 volume drivers for Wednesday. And that's it on the Stock Market Reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Major world stock markets extended previous losses into Wednesday's session on the back of weaker oil and commodity prices. Let's take a look at those numbers. That's business news. It's back to you, Joma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks, Melinda. Still ahead on the news at 10, mixed reactions trailed the decision of the World Rugby Body to award 2023 World Cup hosting rights to France. Do things.